farmer will have the water go to the location where the animals are, and he can turn a tap on. And then you pay rates. So, I mean, even if they had that function, I mean, if you want to pay for the water, fine, you pay for the water. I assume that's pretty much standard in most countries. You pay for, we have water rates here. Well, it depends, actually. Oh, we do, actually. Some of them are separate. It's a separate cost. Some of them are included in the cost of the land rates as well. It depends on which part of the country it is. But why can't we have, like they did in, with seasons, it gave you be able to place down a, you know, a tap to fill up your water? Why can't you have that option? Standard in the game. I'll tell you what, one thing that hasn't changed about this game, I still can't stand ploughing. Unless I've got a huge big plough, 30 meters wide. Yeah, I had a little go of that, Ryder, but I tried to put some bales into the feed thing. I think it's just a TMR mixer, possibly inside. Because right next to the I assume is the machine that does the manual or automatic feeding, not the manual, automatic feeding. You got to put in straw, silage, and grass or hay, which we all know is the recipe to make some TMR. So I'm just wondering if it's that, but it has to be loose. I tried to put a bale in there and it wouldn't work. I put loose straw in, went in fine, but yeah, tried to put a bale of hay in, it didn't want to know about it. So, yeah, I didn't get a chance to fix it. And the funny thing about that one too, Ryder, is that pen holds 80 cows. I think the other one too, the one without the feeder, has 80 cows. But to get 80 cows into it, to buy 80 cows to go into it, what you got to do is you got to buy 60, because that's the most it'll let you buy. Then you got to go back and buy another 20, which I don't know why. That sort of confused me. Maybe they're thinking that because you got the options and all that, and you've got going to end up with having calves being born and stuff like that, you want the room for that. But surely that should be my option. If you say I can fit 80 in there and I want to put 80 in there, let me buy 80 of them, not 60. And then go back and buy another 20. It's ridiculous. And I was hugely disappointed. I've vented my disappointment in fifth board, as you guys know, about not being able to actually manually type in how many animals you want. It's not that hard to program. So why can't we have it? And you still can't hold the click button down. We still got to have to hope that GTX decides to go, right, let me come to your aid, fellow farmers, farming simulators, and give you that button back where you can hold down the spacebar or whatever and to the number you want. I will admit it's a little bit better, this setup, than the old one, but still only a little. It's still annoying having to click one at a time, you know, unless you go for the full max amount, which you can do with the ones under 80 by just clicking the minus button from one and it goes instantly to the highest amount. Like the 15 pen one, you hit the minus button from one, it goes to 15, and the other one I think is 60 or something. Yeah, it does. But once again, if I want to buy 10 of them, why can't I just type in 10 instead of clicking it 10 times? You're hoping they can add a drop-down menu, I'm guessing, when in workers menu to select deliver destination. You sort of can. I sort of get what you mean there. You mean like having the sales points in a list, so you can just click them, they automatically go there. Sort of like you can set up with Courseplay or Auto Drive. You set up the point where you want them to stop, and then you just pull it. Well, in Auto Drive, you just pull it down on the drop down list and click on the location, and it goes right there and stops there all the time. I mean, that would be good for delivering. That would where it make the most sense if you wanted a you want to send them off to unload or sell it at the sell point, then you can just have a drop down box, tell them to go to X location, sell point, and dump, and it goes right there, so you don't have to actually click on it. And you still got to go there yourself, as far as I know. I haven't actually fully tested that out yet. Otherwise, it's just... Yeah, have it looped, yeah. So it's sort of like Courseplay and that. Let's ignore me missing that. I'm sure the farmer's not going to worry about it. I haven't had that problem, righto, at all. Not yet. What map are you on? Or was that on? Because I know I was trying out the European map, and I was in Go Live with Duck Sawley, and he was on the American map, and he was having a bit of trouble with the drivers trying to get to their places. Then again, he had huge equipment, and I didn't have a problem at all. But I was using small tractors. I did see a couple of potential issues, as when one so yeah, he had the same thing. But I did notice that when one of my tractors, I was on the tractor for the drive to see how it worked. When it got to turning into a street, it had to make a right hand turn into a street. Instead of turning into the right hand lane, it sort of went to the middle before it made its turn, and sort of had to adjust itself into the right hand lane from the middle. So what I'm basically saying, if you just think that it's, say, since I'm facing this way, it's the left hand side going there, and the lane I'm supposed to go into is where the ploughed bit is, and the other side of the road is where it's not ploughed. So instead of coming along, let me back up a bit, instead of coming along and going, right, here's the turn off, and I turn in this way onto the lane I'm supposed to be in, what it did is it drove till it was about there, and then started turning. So it was turning sort of in the middle of the road. And I can see with bigger equipment how that could cause a bit of an issue, but that might be one of those things that they'll end up fixing, because you got to remember, these are features that they've just brought out, that they themselves have, not only we're first experiencing them, they're first experiencing them, bring them to us and programming them and stuff like that. So I expect, personally, I'm expecting bugs with it, and it's going to be a bit of trial in the area for them, but it's where I'm looking forward to where they end up and how they optimize it. As long as they do that, once that happens, all these problems will be forgotten about. I mean, there's a lot of problems that you get in the farming simulator that everyone sort of whinges and moans about in the beginning, and then 3 months down the track after it's all fixed, people have forgotten about it. What I might do, since I've done most of this field, is I might get a hired worker to finish it off. That way it won't cost me as much, and I'll go find something different to do, just give us a bit of a change. Provided it will do it properly, unlike it did last night. Oh, the super vague on the achievements. Well, I've never worried about achievements, man. I just play the game. Well, in this anyway, there's some games I do look for achievements. But they actually, for a reason, because they give you something in return for it that helps you out with your gameplay. Right, get to work. This is a lot better than the old ones as texture, but I still think they could do a lot better, personally. Especially as my pet peeve. Fair enough. What else have we got in the way of contracts here? Oh, I've got some fertilising. Oh, let's do some spraying. I've got plenty of spraying jobs. Let's take the cheapest one. There's a reason for this. Actually, give me that one. I can have that. What I'm going to do, I'm still giving away my plan for the multiplayer thing now. But what I'm going to do, the reason I'm going with the cheapest one for the moment is I'm going to get the contract and then use this to do the rest of them. That way I only get taken a small amount off the cost of the contract for borrowing these items. Of course, I also got to buy the blooming stuff to go in it. Here's my leftover fertilizer. Yeah, it is fertilizer actually from the last one. And this way, one thing good about doing the contracts is being able to try out all the different vehicles. I mean, obviously you can do them if you put in heaps of money and start early, well, start off with plenty of money to do all that, but that's not my style. I like to work hard. I like to have the feeling of achievement that I've done something. I had a problem and I fixed it. I didn't veer away from the hard work because I desperately need to feel good about myself. Even if it is a game, apparently. Oh, did I say this was against the rules in the MP one? No. I'm just upset that I didn't think about it while we're playing it. I'm not cheating, I'm just not telling the farmer that I borrowed his equipment to do other farmers' work as well. What he doesn't know doesn't hurt him. Right, there we go. I don't know why you're worried about it. I mean, you guys are all going to be well ahead of me, aren't you? What am I doing? Spraying, eh? Almost bought the liquid fertilizer. Herbicide. Why can't we have different options of sizes? And why can I only buy the one? Because the game says so. No, I didn't say no loans. I was meant to say no loans, but I didn't say it, so I'm not debating that fact. Otherwise, I would have told you to say, well, tough luck, you need to give the money back and everything back. But did I say that? No, I left you the loans because I figured out early on is after what you bought is sort of you've stuffed yourself because then you with the implement you either have to just only do contracts that you have the implement for, or B, still have to borrow anyway. Which you have to borrow the whole lot. You can't just borrow if you need to do sowing and you've got a plough. You can't just borrow a plough, can you, unless you lease it? And I don't know if leasing it's actually more expensive because you've got the base cost and the hourly cost. And we're on 5 times speed too. I was just giving you a bit of stick because you know that's what I do. And you give me a bit of stick because that's what we do. Oh, I am muted. Oh, sorry. Oh, I must have accidentally pressed the button. Okay, I did reply to you, Ghoulish. Did you hear me? I'll repeat myself. Give me something to say anyway. Yeah, about it sucks about the game coming out. I said, yeah, it's a bit of a pain if you can't play it for 2 weeks, but I said, look on the bright side, by then patches might have come out and you can steer away from all the sort of things that might pop up. Because even though there hasn't been many, I haven't spent as much time as I normally would when the Farming Simulator game came out, because I used to play it for like 12 to 18 hours a day. And so I had done plenty of stuff to find out what was wrong with it and what wasn't wrong with it. And I think it's probably going to be that way where things will start, people get into the game more and we'll start probably finding other little bit of bugs and stuff that might be a bit of a problem with the game. Cause issues that need to be fixed. So you might be right. Yeah. So it's cheeses you got to look for on this one, is it? I might do that actually. Get some extra cash. I actually might do it manually. What I used to do with the old gold nuggets and that is went into the XML. And what you used to do is you go into the XML and then it's a bit of work because you got to, there was basically 0 for each one of the gold nuggets. So you had to turn that 0 into a number 1 to say that it had been found. So you had to do that 99 times and you had to leave the very last one. And you actually had to go and find that yourself. Otherwise it wouldn't register it even if you did it in the XML. Oh, right, I was, did you able to change your cache thing? Duck had the same problem where he went in and changed it, and when he went back in, it hadn't changed in the game at all. That'll do. Keep coming, keep coming. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Well, he did both actually, and it didn't work for him. But yeah, I did for the multiplayer one. I did the farms one. Well, actually, I did. Yeah, I might have done both, but yeah. But that was in 19 as well. You had to do the farms one. I can't see, mainly because I got sunshine on my screen. Whether or not that texture's changing. Yeah, I can't see, so I don't even know where I've been, Smeedo. Maybe I need to change the brightness on my screen. I'm just going to take a guesstimate. Oh, I was reading chat. What? They got rid of the grid snapping as well as the raising and lowering. Grid snapping was handy. Oh, what I can see, that's right, I'm weeding. What I can see is the weeds, so now I can see it. I've got a bit of an overhang there, because for some reason I'm thinking that I'm doing fertilising. Did I watch his tutorial? Yeah. Whether I was paying any attention to it is another question. Got to have a little bit of overhang because you want to make double sure the weeds don't come back. Tell you what, I'm a lot cooler today, even though it's a hot day. Before I started streaming, I went and had a haircut and told him to give me a short back and shiny. Which basically means I'm currently bald at the moment. Which obviously means two things. Number one, I'm a bit cooler up top now, so my CPU won't overheat as much. And number two, if I stay out in the sun too long, I'll turn a nice shade of red and helicopters will try and land on me. It's a bit novelty going back to the old school, back to the prehistoric age. Excuse me. I'll try that again. Back to the prehistoric age of using no GPS, doing it all manually, missing things. Nostalgia. Best left in the past. Contract on this field is finished, but I can't leave it unfinished. For some reason I have to do it all. You're doing the me bit different. What? You having extensions put in? Are you still talking about the haircut thing? Oh, you're doing fertilising. Right, job done. Next job. Completed. Oh, here's a good question. I was just on field 4, wasn't I? Okay, so let's click that. It's another $3 grand. $3 grand into the kitty. But stop rolling off somewhere. Just sit there and give the crop some shade for a bit. It looks a bit hot. I'm not even going to bother doing that ploughing field, so we'll complete that. Click that. That's that done. Let's get another spraying job. One that pays the most. Excellent. Now why? Sorry, Smedo. Why isn't the bot working? Now, well, the bot is working. Why isn't that working? Oh well, I'll keep an eye on it. Don't know why the bot didn't pick up that. That's right. You know, if you get the mature thing at the trying to get in the stream, you know, you can go for gold on that one, but accept contract. Field 11, which is somewhere on the map. Where on the map? I've yet to figure that out. Up there. But still, the bot should have picked it up. Smootho. They drive on the right or the left in Sweden? Actually, no, probably the Swiss, they drive in the middle. A bit of a cliche in it, Swiss cheese. Running around trying to find that. What about Swiss chocolate? Oh no, that's right. They send it to the lucky people, don't they? Only the lucky people get chocolate from Uruguay. And then they post onto their Discord how yummy it is, while the rest of us read it drooling. I'm guessing this would be field 11. Right, let's get a sort of an idea of the best way to attack this field. Probably being on it would be a good start. And then I suppose going from there. Yeah, I know. Problem is, Smootho, is I know how nice Swiss chocolate is. Because I had an auntie that lived in Switzerland for quite a few years. She worked at the Paramount Pictures division in Switzerland. And she's a little sensitive with the steering in this game compared to the other ones. Come on. Stay on target, Luke. Obi-Wan will be very disappointed in you, mate. Yeah, so she used to bring me chocolate every time she came back home. And it was so good. So good. Almost as good as Belgian chocolate. That's how I rate my chocolates. I think Belgian chocolate's number 1, Swiss chocolate's number 2, and New Zealand chocolate's number 3. Yeah, it is good chocolate, eh? And you're right, it is. In fact, there was a whole bunch of them on special at the moment when I went shopping today. But that'll be because Christmas is on its way. And there was a whole bunch of Christmas food and goodies on special. Don't mind me breaking that farmer's poor... What is it? What is that crop anyway? Oh, it's corn. I've got to get used to the fact that it's not like compact and all together and different colour. It's good. Reminds me of the Forgotten Textures from the LS Mod Company. corn, which I reckon was the best corn texture there was in the game. But most of their crop textures were better than the in-game ones anyway. But corn was, especially before it was, no, forward. I pressed the forward button. Let me go forward. I tell you what I want, game. You don't do what you want to do. Yeah, so I reckon that was the best. Aussie, how you matey? Yes, yes, it is, mate. Definitely is. And how are you today, sir? Actually, you threw me off. I forgot what I was talking about now. I was about to say, why do I feel like I've done a lot of work and haven't made any money? My bank balance looks very, very, very stagnated, frozen. Elsa's got hold of my money. As long as she doesn't break out into any songs. Oh, okay, are you? There should be a link on one of his videos. If you go to one of his videos, there should be a link there. And you just click on that and just walk through the door. Yeah, that's just his links. Aussie knows that he's been a like you, Smeeto, actually been a long time patron of Ducks, a long time viewer, first time caller. So, people who've played this, what do you think of the features? Some of the features that have come out. Is there any that you really, really like, or went, nah, didn't like? Now it's JSP competitors, not contractors. I'm just glad with this game that they've brought some stuff in that I no longer need to fill my hard drive up with a mod to make it work or get that feature. Personally. Like the shuttle control, for instance. I no longer need a mod for that. Oh, the production. Yeah, I'm really looking forward into getting into the production chains. I some of you know this, some of you don't. But when it came to this, like a lot of games and well, TV shows, movies, and all sorts, I don't really look at previews or write-ups or anything about it. I like to be surprised on my own, and sometimes it gives you a false impression of it, and you might actually have a better idea in your head of what it's going to be like than it turns out, and then you get disappointed. Instead of having seen it for the first time with no expectations and all that, and I like especially with games, I like the surprise of things that they added instead of pre-knowing before I go in. I like to see it unfold in front of my face. Yes, but I did know about the productions because unfortunately in the Discords and everything, especially when